Well, hello.
Hello there.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Nashon Jackson. I am a seasoned real estate investor and entrepreneur.
Okay. Can you tell us how you got started as a seasoned real estate investor and entrepreneur?
Oh my God, how did I get started? So about 10 years ago, my wife wanted to get involved with real estate. She was already doing real estate investing and she needed help. And she had helped me with my dreams of pursuing as a screenwriter and to get into media. I had quit my job with no backup plan. I was going to make it, right? And she was like, "Hey, I'll support you." So she supported me. I wanted to support her. A friend of mine at the time was taking this real estate education, and um, I went to go check it out. He was like, "Hey, I think you and Nate would like this," and checked it out. It was teaching about entrepreneurship and real estate investing. So I had her watch it. She watched it. She was like, "Okay, yeah, this is good." So then we go to this meeting. We start listening to these people, and one of the gentlemen there brought up this really interesting statistic. He was like, "How much money do you need to make per month in order for you not to work?" And no one had ever asked me that question. I've worked for CTA, which is Chicago's Transit Authority, when I was in my 20s. So that kind of job is a union job. Most people think about their pension and retirement plans, but when you're there, you don't really know how that really works when you're young, right? And no one really tells you how much money you need to make per month in order for you not to work. I had never thought about that, right? And so when I looked at it, it was like, well, how much money will I make? When I looked at about $3,000 a month, it was like you needed to have like $1.2 million saved up to not work for 25 years. And that was a shocker to me because I didn't know anybody that had $1.2 million saved up. Maybe, a couple of 100,000, but not 1.2 million. And then when that happened, it started to hit me on why I would see so many people past the retirement age that were still working. I kind of all that hit me all while having that conversation and listening to that presentation. And as a result, she and I started the education. At the time, our finances was really rough. I went to my mom, and my mom financed our education. And from that, we learned about entrepreneurship, accounting, taxes, tax write-offs, financial literacy is what we obtained before we even knew what that term was back then. Along with the fact that we learned the essentials and the fundamentals of real estate investing from the different strategies, how they work, and what's involved in your team, and got our vocabulary together. So it really started from there. That's how I got involved with real estate investing.
Okay, that's a cool story to get involved. Now, what happened from there? What did you do next?
So from there, we couldn't get the help that we wanted, right? So they don't tell you this when you go to these different guru meetings or whatever, that you can purchase their products, but no one's going to be there holding your hand in your market, in your town, that's going to tell you, "Hey, that's the sign of water," or "That's this." No one's really there to do that. So they're there to teach you what they're going to teach you or show you right then and there, but no one's there to hold your hand. So we were kind of frustrated with this situation. We went out and grabbed our own crew of people that was learning the same information. And we started doing things on the south side of Chicago and hosting our own events and trying to bring people in as a community to learn and grow together, because we knew that that's really the way that you kind of grow. As in real estate, you need a team. It's a variety of people that you're working together with. So we did that for a while. We got some momentum. We shook some things up. And through that time, because we were hosting events, a variety of people started to know my wife and I. They would hear about us and know we're doing things on the South Side. And a gentleman decided, he was a real estate investor and a contractor, and he was looking for a team on the South Side. He met up with some people. They were like, "Hey, you should go talk to Shauna and Janae about that." He came, listened to me speak, was like, "Hey, man, I really like you guys. You guys, I'm gonna work with you guys." And started to teach us things as we went on these property tours, because we were doing property tours with the communities, feeding the communities every Tuesday night on the south side of Chicago. We were like really adamant about showing and teaching people about real estate investing. At the time, I was really like in between um, really looking for ways to make money as an entrepreneur. So I did the photography, well, the graphic design and logos and all of those different things because that's what I went to school for back then. But then a friend of mine was like, "Hey man, you should Uber. You should Uber since you go and look for properties and stuff because guys, when you're learning about real estate, you got to get out, got to look for properties anywhere, you know. So they're telling you, look at vacant properties, look at the grass. So you're going around looking at properties. A friend's like, hey man, you need to Uber. Um, I worked with public transportation. I didn't want to Uber, but he was like, hey, I'll split my commission with you, right? So I was Ubering. My first Uber the first ride I ever had, a guy gets in the car and he needs to sell his house and he's like, "Hey man, you're going the wrong way." I'm like, "Hey bro, I don't really drive. I don't use this. I'm using this so I can make extra money while I'm driving around the city because I'm in real estate." And get to talking. Long story short, that guy gave me his contact information. He had an issue with his house. I just connected with the partner, the Victor, his name. I linked up with him. He's a GC. He always has experience. I tell him, I say, hey, Victor, I got this house, this property, man. He says, well, let's go look at it. And Victor goes and we walk through the property, see what's going on. And afterwards, we get into his car, and Victor's like, hey, why haven't you done this deal? And I'm like, well, because I need a team and blah, blah. He's like, yeah, I understand. Why haven't you done the deal? And I can laugh about this now. And I was just like, man, I don't know everything. The education that I learned that we got taught me a lot, but there's holes and gaps that I need someone to walk me through that process to know that I don't want to get screwed over with, because you're taught in real estate, all the GCs and these different people that's part of your team can make and break your deal. So I'm letting him know that ahead of time. And he's like, yeah, I understand that, but I like you guys. I'm gonna work with you guys. And from there, my knowledge of the education and the things that I've learned, I put in place. So we were able to put that deal together. And my first real estate deal, with no money, no credit, just with the right attorneys, the right um, seller, and the right partners, we were able to do our first real estate deal with no money, no credit. We made $27,000 on that first deal. And that was my first real estate transaction, and where I went from learning the education and getting involved to my first real estate transaction. That happened for me. And it was an amazing experience. We closed rehab, fixed, and sold that property in 67 days from the moment that we signed the purchase contract. So it was a win-win transaction, and that was the first time in my life where I've seen a business deal of so much of abundance of money happen where everybody was happy. Like that was the thing about real estate investing, was like everybody won. No one was at the table frowning. No one was upset. For us, it was great. It was our first deal. For the seller, him and his wife and their child, they were pregnant during the time. They were moving to a different country, and he was worried about the getting those things done and the money and his finances and all of those things. And we were able to go and take over all the operations and help him close that deal and get the maximum amount of money that he could get out of the property. And we partnered up on that deal. It was a great transaction. So that was how where we went from there. And then it just continued. Like from that point on, we had two young ladies that was like, hey, listen, we want to learn about real estate investing. They were single moms. They were adamant, and we were able to go with them and do a fix and flip in one of the Chicago South suburbs, and walk them and their children through that process because they had boys and a girl. They had kids, and we were able to walk them through and show them the ins and outs of rehabbing a split level home. So it's been an awesome experience from learning the education to applying the education and then actually learning and going through those things.
That is a great story. I love all of this information. Can you tell our audience if there's someone who's just getting started, what would you tell them?
Hmm. Um, you have to find the right type of people that can work with your current situation. At the time, I had left my job. I didn't have any money. I was broke. I was broke. I was a brand new entrepreneur. I was, for the first time, like trying something different. I'm not a risk taker, even though I've been in real estate for 10 years. I've been one of those guys that had a plan, a secure job, and I walked away from that. And so for me, I needed to be with someone that can understand me. And when you're at these real estate events and these things and their products and services that they're selling you, there's usually no one that's going to sit there and individually talk to you and walk you through these different things. And that was the difference that I got with Victor. That was cool because he was experienced and he was walking me through those things. So for me, the first thing I would tell someone is go and find someone experienced that can actually do some one-on-one time with you, because your situation is different from someone else's. One person might have bad credit, one person has good credit, somebody has some money saved up in a 401k, some people don't have a 401k. So depending on your situation and where you're at financially, because that does matter in real estate investing, you need someone to be able to coach you and walk you through your particular situation and what you really want to do, that can show you the way for you, because everybody's way and everything in real estate is really great. There's no black and white because there's a variety of different ways that you can do things in real estate. But someone has to know you, your situation, your finances, how you move, your availability in order to actually get you to the point where you want to go.
Oh,
So
okay. Well, great advice. My last question for you would be, what is it that you bring to the table and how do you add value to people?
that's a great question. Um, I think for me, what I bring to the table is the realness of a person that did not understand the value of real estate, and then, oh, I saw the value of real estate. Like I became a believer, right? Like the belief of how life changing real estate can be and what it can do for you is where I come from, right? So I always tell the story. I hated Menards and Home Depot, the smell when you walk in, right? The wood smell. My mom was a DUI person. I'm an only child. My mom was a huge part of my life. She was a do-it-yourself person. And for me, I hated real estate. I hated anything that was home improvement. My mom was diagnosed with four-stage breast cancer when I was in college, and I was blessed with a lot of time. A lot of people didn't know how sick she was, but the last 2 years of her life was she required a lot of attention and a lot of resources. And if it was not for the real estate transactions that my wife and I and my partners had did prior to that time frame, I would have never had the resources and or the available time without any restrictions of being able to take care of my mom. And people always say, like, well, if you get rich or you have money, what you going to do? The number one thing people want to do with their money is to be able to take care, spend time with their family, and provide for their families. And for me, that was the biggest thing. The real estate allowed me to have the time and the resources to take care of my mom. I didn't have to call and worry about FMLA or my sick days, or I had to call my business partners and let them know, like, hey, my mom is sick. I need to take care of my mom. And my mom was there, or some of the construction sites and different things with me. So what I bring to the table is someone that had no interest in value into this, learned how it works, and has benefited from it significantly. And to be able to help other people, prevent them from being in positions where your family member gets sick and now you have to decide on your job and if how long you can stay away from your job and FMLA or take care of your family members. No one should be put in that type of position where you have to choose one or the other. And that's been one of the things that have fueled me through teaching and coaching people on not making the pitfalls and some of the mistakes that I've seen people make. And this is another big thing, and I'm glad you bring this up. When I started real estate investing and learning how it works, people was not really trying to teach you how it really worked. They were giving you a dip and twirl and really kind of, you know, throwing you off and sending you in different directions, or telling you the new trends like, oh, this is short sales now. And it's like, that doesn't relate to how my financial situation works in regards to real estate, right? So for me, what I bring to the table is I'm able to understand that person's financial situation, their mindset, and custom make a game plan and a coaching plan for that individual to help them overcome those obstacles. Because this is a numbers game. It's a mental tough game. You have to be tough to be in this industry because there's a lot of things can go wrong. It's surgery. It's tedious, right? And it's a lot of properties, right? Which one is good? Which one is bad? There's a lot of things that go involved with this. For me, I've been fortunate and blessed to have the right people to coach and teach me. So why would I not go and do the same thing to pay it forward? Is coach and teach others. Hey, watch out for this. Oh, there's a crack in the foundation. Hey, what's this water coming from? Oh, do you have a inspector? Oh, did you get an appraisal? These are some of the most important things that so many people overlook because with YouTube and the way the world is giving you this fast information, no one's really walking you through and telling you, hey, this is how this really works. It's no other way. You can't go over, under. No, you have to go through this. And some of those things are going to be some growing pains that you're going to experience. But the payoff, the reward, the lifestyle, the freedom is so fulfilling. And I think that everyone in our country who really desires financial independence, who really thinks about their retirement and their future and their kids, the only way to obtain wealth in our country for the average person is real estate. So to be able to coach and teach someone like myself who didn't see value, didn't understand how it works, but when my mom got sick, I was able to really see the benefits of all the hard work and all the things that I had been doing to get involved with real estate. It became a reality of why I was doing it. So that's one of the things that I bring to the table is a genuine care to see you succeed and benefit from something that so many people in our country deserve to know, but they're not going to be exposed or not or have enough grit to withstand the one thing that's very difficult to break into, which is wealth. So I hope that I answered your questions.
Yeah. Before we sign off here, can you tell us last time? Can you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Nashon Jackson. I am a seasoned entrepreneur and real estate investor. I coach and teach people entrepreneurship and financial literacy. Hey, it's Sean.
Hey, it's Janae.
Thank you for watching Team to Wealth on YouTube.
Please leave a comment, like, and subscribe.
And we'll see you on the next one.